Today on Washington TV. General David Petraeus, Iran is our best recruiter in the Persian Gulf. Ex-U.S. diplomat hopeful about change after Iranian election. U.S. General, Iran, North Korea working together on ballistic missiles. Iranian leader to the people, don't pay too much attention to rumors. The messages of the presidential candidates at the ballot box. Top cleric, large turnout in the election will dishearten the enemy. Iran convicted 9 political prisoners in less than half an hour. And 8 rappers were arrested in the city of Esfahan. These stories and more at televisionwashington.com.
Today in Washington. General David Petraeus, the commander of the U.S. Central Command, yesterday in the 3rd annual conference of the Center for the New American Security in Washington, gave the distinguished audience an update on the activities of CENTCOM in the Middle East, and specifically Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and the Persian Gulf. In a part of his speech, Petraeus reminded the audience that around 40% of world's oil resources pass through the Strait of Hormuz. He said that for America, this emphasized the importance of having good relations with the countries in the region.
Enormous efforts in terms of building partnerships, turning bilateral arrangements slowly into multilateral arrangements. And I would note that Iran is our best recruiting officer right now because the Gulf states and others understandably are very concerned about the provocative rhetoric and actions. We'll see what happens with the elections tomorrow and what transpires after that. But the degree of partnership, the willingness and eagerness, in fact, to partner on the west side of the Gulf is at substantial levels.
Nicholas Burns, a former U.S. diplomat and the point person on Iran under former President George W. Bush, yesterday voiced cautious optimism that the presidential election in Iran may bring about change. While he would not predict the outcome of today's election, Burns said that the mass public rallies and heated televised debates between the 4 candidates indicate that there is a reform movement in Iran.
It is youth-driven. It's remarkable for its energy, and I don't know what's going to happen in the election tomorrow, but we should be open to the possibility of some change.
He also reacted to some critics of President Obama's diplomacy-centered approach to Iran in the media.
I would say that President Obama is countering that. I think he's effectively put Ahmadinejad on the defensive prior to this election because of our ability now to open up the vista for the possibility of negotiations.
Lieutenant General Patrick O'Reilly, the head of the Pentagon's Missile Defense Agency, told lawmakers on Capitol Hill yesterday that Iran and North Korea represent the most pronounced example of an international coalition working toward the building of ballistic missiles that could carry deadly warheads. O'Reilly also said that one could not with certainty say which one had made more progress toward the building of the missiles, but that both their abilities to fire missiles with a stable ignition and launch a second stage represents a significant step forward for both. According to a new report by the U.S. Air Force's National Air and Space Intelligence Center, Iran's ambitious ballistic missile and space launch development program could develop and test an ICBM capable of reaching the United States by 2015. Today's top stories. Ayatollah Mohammad Imam Khashoggi, who led Friday prayers in Tehran today, referred to the 10th presidential election, saying that taking part in elections was a religious duty, and that the extensive presence of people at the polling booths was to respond to the enemy and to dishearten it. Quoting the founder of the Islamic Republic, Ayatollah Khomeini, on the necessity of turning out in large numbers and voting for devout, committed individuals, Imam Khashoggi added, quote, "The extensive presence of the people in the election is a response to the enemy, a service rendered to Islam and the revival of Islam." According to the semi-official Fars news agency, Ayatollah Khashoggi continued by saying that Iran was today surrounded by the enemy, who has fixed its eyes on us with all these antennas, websites, and media, and is looking for an excuse to say that people did not turn out to vote. He added, "Our great nation has had a huge presence in the election, and it will even increase this presence and dishearten the enemy." He went on to urge the people to vote for a competent and righteous person, and said that whoever is elected as president in this election will be the president of all the Iranian people. It was announced yesterday that the first branch of Saqqez Revolution Court in Iran's Kurdistan province has held the hearing for 9 persons accused of being political activists in less than half an hour. According to the website of the Human Rights Organization of Kurdistan of Iran, Mohammad Karimi, Bahauddin Saidi, Khaled Mustafazadeh, Ayub Marufi, Rahman Rezai, and 4 other young persons, the names of who have not yet been announced, were arrested 35 days ago and in a hearing held in camera, which lasted less than half an hour, were tried for acting against national security. The decision of the court will be announced in the next few days. 8 leading members of a rap group, which according to the chief of police in charge of public security in the Esfahan province, had planned to put on a performance in one of Esfahan's city gardens, were identified and arrested. According to the semi-official ISNA news agency, Colonel Mir Abbas Sufivand said on Friday, quote, "The arrested individuals posted an announcement on their website, inviting young people to attend this event and their other meetings." The police chief in charge of Esfahan's public security added that the arrested individuals admitted to their crimes attributed to them in the course of the initial interrogations. He said, "These individuals said in the interrogations that through organized efforts, they were attempting to encourage young people to embark on unethical and deviant activities." He added, quote, "The arrested accused have been handed over to the judicial authorities."
Today in election news. After casting his vote on presidential election day today in Tehran, the leader of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, called on the people not to pay attention to certain rumors about him in connection with the election. Speaking in the presence of a group of correspondents at the Imam Khomeini Prayer Center, Khamenei said, "Don't listen too much to the rumors. Yesterday and last night, I saw in these numerous SMS messages at the disposal of the people that they were quoting rumors which they attributed to me. These rumors are blatant lies and untrue. People who mean well and are healthy do not do such things. It is sick people who do such things." Khamenei thanked the people for their enthusiastic presence in the days and nights leading up to the election day. He said that such excitement was a sign of the secure nature of the election in Iran, in that no bitter incidents occurred during the boisterous election campaign. He then asked the people to maintain the same security, tranquility, and dignity until the end of the election. The 4 candidates of Iran's 10th presidential election appeared at different polling stations today to cast their votes and convey their last messages to the people. The pro-reform Mir Hossein Mousavi cast his vote at the Great Ershad Mosque in Shahreh, a southern quarter of Tehran city. Mousavi, who appeared at the mosque with his wife Zahra Rahnavard, told reporters, "I promised everyone that I will safeguard the people's ballots." He added that he and his supporters will stay awake until the last votes are counted. He said, "I have been informed that regrettably, some of my representatives have not been allowed near voting areas and mobile booths, and the SMS has also been shut down, which is against the law." Reformist candidate Mehdi Karoubi cast his vote at the Hesar Bou Ali Prayer Center in Tehran and told reporters, "I advised the election executive and supervisory teams to load the zeal and enthusiasm of the people and to safeguard their votes. The candidates too, once the soundness of the election has been verified, must respect the people's choice." For his part, President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, after casting his vote at the Great Afsarieh Mosque in Tehran, told correspondents, "The presence of the people will pave the way for the implementation of greater works, for major decision-making and a clearer movement." He emphasized, "The mass of the people could be observed to be filling the polling booths in the early hours of this morning, and the election is the completion of the chain of people's presence and the consolidation of their will." He added, "Decisive, revolutionary, and clear decision of the people will place the nation before a bright future, which is brimming with progress." Candidate Mohsen Rezai also arrived at the Jamaran Prayer Center in Tehran to cast his vote. He then announced that he opposed certain malicious approaches which were displayed during the election campaign. He said that deceiving the people and distributing money were among the unethical approaches, and he emphasized that such things would not influence the people's votes. Rezai predicted that the turnout will be huge and ballots will exceed 30 million. He added, "Anyone who is elected is the president and everyone should cooperate with him. Before the election, competition was serious, and after the election, cooperation must be serious." These stories and more at televisionwashington.com.